Boy and Dog, Part 10. Spark and Frederick huddle near the outer walls of the palace grounds, close to the guards' barracks. Spark says to Frederick, "We'd better wait here until Motion chases the guards away, but we could move a little closer." They creep nearer to discover that the guards' barracks extend along the whole front of the wall. Inside the prison grounds, a few guards idle by a well, while other guards play cards. Motion whirls down in a ferocious spinning blur, sweeping before the game players, scattering their cards. The startled guards jump up in confusion. One guard says, "What's going on?" Second guard says, "Some kind of wind? I didn't see nothing." They stoop to pick up the cards when Motion whirls in again, tornado-like. The guards lounging by the well gawk, stunned. Motion overwhelms all with his dizzying speed, forcing all the guards out of the prison grounds. Spark and Frederick watch from behind the prison gate as Motion herds the guards out of the prison yard. Spark whispers, "Motion did so good." He scans the barracks and says, "Let's be as quiet as can be and creep past those barracks." They slip through the prison gate where the guards had been forced to pass moments before. Spark and Frederick creep into the prison grounds. Elsie flies in, sees Spark and Frederick. "Oh, thank heavens you're safe," she says. Spark squints up. "Oh, all our plans may go for nothing. It's too dark to see. We need more light." The grounds brighten as light shines over them and says, "Here I am, Spark. I shall shine for as long as needed." Spark says, "Oh, light, you're here. Thank goodness." Spark hurries to the prison, peeks inside and whispers, "Chip, Chip." Excited barking comes from one of the cells. Spark spots Chipper behind the bars and rushes over to him. "Chip, you're all right." Chipper barks, jumps against the bars, and Spark says, "Shh, Chip, we must be quiet." Spark turns to Frederick. "Frederick, can you break the bars?" Frederick says, "Can I break the bars? Move aside, lad. I don't want you harmed as I utterly demolish that gate." Frederick huffs, growls, and rushes at the bars. They break. Elsie, uneasy because of the noise, flies out of sight. Spark says, "Oh, Frederick, you are so powerful." Chipper bounds out of the prison cell and into Spark's arms, and Spark says, "Chipper." Spark hugs the squirming dog, and Spark says, "I see you're ready to go. Come on, let's hurry." Elsie flies back and flutters urgently above them and says, "Spark, Frederick, the guards are coming." Motion swirls into the yard out of breath and says, I occupied them as long as I could, but they must have heard Frederick. They're coming after us." Spark looks up in the direction from which Motion had come and says, "It's too late to escape. We will have to stand and fight." Elsie flutters in a circle and says, "Oh, we are doomed." Spark says, "Doomed? I am a most ferocious fellow when threatened. I will..." Louder, more menacing sounds come from the guards. Motion says, "There are many, Spark. Perhaps rather than fight, we should try to outwit them." But Spark says, "Since you're all afraid, go to the outskirts and take a stand. I will do battle here." Frederick says, "Let me stay, Spark. I am the one to conquer those weaklings." But Spark says, "No, I shall fight alone." Elsie says, "But shouldn't we stay together?" Motion says, "Yes, Spark. You can't win the victory alone." "Oh, ho," says Spark. "I will put them on the run. You'll see." Chipper paws at Spark, and Spark says, "Chipper, be brave, and you can stay. Think what heroic tales we can tell Grandpa and Grandma." And then to the others he said, "You'd better be off." They look around, then Frederick sees a spot to hide and says, "Follow me. We'll find a place down there." Frederick takes them to the passageway leading to the prison cells. Spark picks up a stick for protection. Spark's papa, a pleasant, sensitive-looking man, comes through the prison gate. He stops and stares at Spark. Chipper yips uncertainly and tentatively wags his tail. Papa says, "Spark?" Spark turns, the stick pointing towards Papa, and says, "Yes?" Papa looks at the stick and says, "I mean you no harm." Now, aware of the stick, Spark lowers it and says, "Oh, pardon me." Papa comes into the area and says, "Word got to me about a young boy, Spark, who is looking for his papa." Spark says, "Oh yes, I've been searching lots. Have you seen him?" And Papa says, "Spark, I am your papa." Spark drops the stick. "Papa? Pardon, I don't remember. Papa?" Papa says, "Yes, Spark. I heard your name and knew it must be you." And Spark says, "Oh, Papa, I'm so happy to find you. You can come home now." Papa says, "Spark, I've searched long to find this land, this way of life. This is my home now." Spark says, "But, Papa, Grandma and Grandpa and me, we've waited so long for you to come back." Papa says, "Sewing shoes and working the land, that isn't my way, son." Spark says, "You don't like making shoes, like Grandpa?" Grandpa says doing work you love is true gratifying. Papa says, yes, I remember all that. But I've never been one to... It's too crude a life for me." Spark says, "Does crude mean to work hard?" No, not at all. It's just, we're very different, son. But I will come homewards by and by to visit." Spark nods, distressed. Papa says, "I'm about to meet friends to discuss very weighty, important ideas. Would you like to come along?" Spark says, "Oh, yes, certain." Papa says, "But I must warn you, we converse about heavy, important matters. It may not be..." Spark says, "I could just listen, Papa. Just listen. I could do that, sure, certain." Papa says, "Well now, I'm thinking, son, perhaps it would be better another time with just the two of us." Spark says, "Oh, other folks being there, that would be fine, Papa. Certain. I'd be happy, sure, truly happy to..." Papa says, "Well, son, really, I think we'd best meet by and by." Spark says, "Oh, but Papa..." Papa says, "Don't be concerned, my boy. I'll get directions to your chamber and we'll visit later on. Would you like that, Spark?" Not waiting for an answer, he hugs Spark awkwardly and hurries off. Spark stares after him, bewildered, but then comes to a decision. He quickly follows in his Papa's path. Papa is greeting a few ornately dressed people in another area when Spark dashes through the prison gate and rushes up to him and says, "Papa!" Papa turns and says, "Spark? Spark, what a nice surprise seeing you again so soon." Papa turns to the group. "This is my son, Spark. Spark, these are my friends." Spark looks at the elaborately dressed inhabitants, then implores Papa, "Papa?" Papa continues addressing his friends, saying, Spark has been shown good sense coming here. Only hard work and struggle abide back home. Isn't that true, lad? Papa turns back to his friends. His grandpa makes shoes and works the land. Seems satisfied with that, by my word. His friends chuckle. Spark says, Grandpa's shoes are true fine, certain. Papa smiles tolerantly at Spark, turns back to his friends, and his grandma slaves all day cooking, doing chores, that sort of thing. Spark says, Grandma are right satisfied doing chores. Papa says gently, yes, but you belong here, I'm thinking, beside me. Come along, son. Spark stands perfectly still, his eyes locked onto his papa, a new understanding emerging, and he says, I can't stay here, Papa. Chip and I are leaving. Papa says, Now, lad. Spark says, We have to go, Papa. Goodbye. A heart-sore Spark turns to leave, and Papa says, But Spark. Spark's head drops as he goes back through the prison gate.